call the City Council meeting for May 23rd, 2019 to order. Madam Clerk, pledge.
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Councilman Asbill.
Present.
Councilman Buddy.
Present.
Councilman Chatelain.
Present.
Councilman Johnston.
Present.
Councilman Wheeler.
Present.
Mayor Bodier.
Present.
Police Chief Walker.
Here.
Fire Chief St. Cyr.
Present.
Finance Director Todd Tunion.
Here.
City Attorney Scott Stansberry.
Present.
And Municipal Clerk Nicole Lee is present.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Mayor, before we get started, I'd like to make a motion to amend the agenda to add 2 items to the ordinances for first reading. First one is going to be for proposed ordinance number 2019-15, which is to adjust the budget for the fire truck for $300,000.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor by Councilman Johnston for ordinance 2019-15 to adjust the ordinance to read $300,000 for the fire truck. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Chatelain. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays.
And then the second ordinance I'd like to bring up is 2019-16, which is for $250,000 to be used on street repairs.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor by Councilman Johnson to bring up street repairs, $250,000, ordinance number 2019-16. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Wheeler. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Agenda is amended. So we're gonna skip over this.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, so I have one too. No. Move to amend the agenda to add proposed ordinance 2019 dash, what is it, 14
14.
to the
Yeah,
agenda.
And 2019-14
Yeah,
is...
can you read the title that I gave you, please? I'm sorry.
Yep. It's an ordinance to amend the City of Harahan Code of Ordinances to provide for the establishment of procedures, terms, and conditions managing the occupancy and use of public right-of-ways by providers of telecommunications services.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor by Councilman Asbill to amend agenda, adding item number 2019-14. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Buddy. All in favor?
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Agenda is amended.
Also move to add woods materials to the executive session.
We have a motion on the floor by Councilman Asbill to move woods material to executive session. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Johnson. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays.
Also
Agenda is
move,
amended.
also move to take up executive session at this
A
time.
new business. You want
Uh,
to add the new business?
Oh, yeah, who's the new business? Add new business.
Number 1, it's permission to sell
Yeah.
beer and daiquiris at Harahan Playground July 20th for the community cookout.
We have a motion on the floor by Councilman Asbill to sell beer and daiquiris at the playground for Harahan Fire Department Community Cookout on July 20th in the evening. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Johnson. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Agenda is amended.
Now I'd like to make a motion to move to take executive session at this time.
Motion by Councilman Asbill to move it to executive session.
Second.
A second by Councilman Johnson. Agenda is amended to take up executive session at this time. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Recess for about 5 minutes. Okay, we're going to resume the council meeting. Madam Clerk, special presentations.
Ms. Darlene Schwartz, Community Liaison.
So, good evening, everybody, mayor, council, our lovely citizens. I only have one announcement tonight. I don't know if anybody else has anything else to add. But this is for the benefit for the Soniat No Limits Playground. There's a fundraiser coming up at St. Francis Villa on Saturday, June the 8th. And it's going to run from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. For $20, you get unlimited refills of wine, tea, lemonade, or water. So that's an easy choice of what the unlimited refills will be good for. The wine sounds awful good. We're going to have over 40 pieces of art and jewelry that will be up for grabs for purchase. They'll have a jazz band, and local chef Dwayne will be cooking up the food, including his signature crawfish beignets. And there will also be a George Rodriguez Blue Dog framed piece valued at more than $2,500 that will be up for auction. And the request is that you wear like a seersucker or a sundress to the event. That's the theme. Well, the men might be interested. I mean, they do the red dress thing in New Orleans, right? So why not? It might be interesting to see some of the guys in a seersucker dress, right? Anyhow, so Saturday, June the 8th, that is, from 7 to 9 p.m. at St. Francis Villa, up the road there in River Ridge. And Melissa is the one that's organizing this at 867-9963, 867-9963. I'm sure if anybody wanted to make any donations, again, for auction or whatever, before the event takes place, she'd be more than happy to partake of that. And look, the Sonia No Limits Playground is a good cause. Let's try to go out and support it and have a good time. And then by the time this gets broadcast, school will probably be out. Watch your kids. Everybody, when you're driving, you know, they'll be running around on their bikes and playing ball and everything. Let's not have any accidents involving our kids or anybody for that matter. Let's just kind of be aware that school's out and the fun will begin. Have a good night.
Thank you.
We have Chief Walker, current state of the Harahan Police Department.
Yes, good evening, Mayor, Council, viewing public. Last week, there was an article in the Times-Picayune about the U.S. News and World Report about Louisiana being the last and the best states ranking for 2019. Article further stated that Louisiana continued to rank dead last in the United States when it comes to education, health care, crime, and opportunity for its citizens. I'd like to acknowledge in the last 5 years, as your police chief, Harahan has consistently ranked as one of the safest cities in the city, if not the safest city in Louisiana. I'll pledge to you that the Harahan Police Department will continue to keep you safe, your families, your property, and your businesses. Remember, if you see something, say something. Dial 911. We're there for you. Also, I want to wish everybody a happy and safe Memorial Day. It's this weekend. And as Darlene said, school's out. Drive safely. Thank you.
All right, approval of the minutes. Reading of the minutes of the council meeting on April 18th.
Do I have a motion to dispense with the reading of the minutes?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Johnson, second by? Second by Councilman Wheeler, all in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays.
Approval of the minutes of the council meeting on April 18th.
Do I have a motion to dispense with approval, do I have a motion to dispense, do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
Motion.
Sorry. Motion by Councilman Johnson,
Second.
second by Councilman Wheeler, all in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Minutes are approved.
Reading of the minutes of the special meeting on May 1st.
Do I have a motion to dispense with the reading of the minutes from the special meeting from May 1st?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Asbill, second by Councilman Johnson, all in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays.
And approval of the minutes of the special meeting on May 1st.
Do I have a motion to approve the minutes from the special meeting on May 1st?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Johnson, second by Councilman Buddy, all in favor?
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays.
Communications, reading of the minutes of the Planning and Zoning Board on March 20th.
All right, do I have a motion to dispense with the reading of the minutes from the Planning and Zoning meeting on March 20th?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Johnson, second by Councilman Chatelain, all in favor?
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays.
And approval of the minutes of the Planning and Zoning Board on March 20th.
Do I have a motion to approve the minutes from the Planning and Zoning Board on March
Motion.
20th?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Asbill, second by Councilman Wheeler, all in favor?
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays.
And reading of the minutes of the Board of Adjustments and Appeals on April 17th.
Do I have a motion to dispense with the reading of the minutes from the Board of Appeals and Adjustment on April 17th?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Johnson, second by Councilman Asbill, all in favor?
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays.
And approval of the minutes of the Board of Adjustments and Appeals on April 17th.
All right, do I have a motion to approve the minutes of the Appeals Board on April 17th?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Buddy, second by?
Second.
Second by Councilman Wheeler, all in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays.
Resolutions. Proposed resolution number 2019-4. The following resolution was offered unanimously by the Council of the City of Harahan. Be it resolved that the following millages are hereby levied on the 2019 tax roll on all property subject to taxation by the City of Harahan. Total millage 21.93. Be it further resolved that the proper administrative officials of the City of Harahan, State of Louisiana, be and they are hereby empowered, authorized, and directed to spread said taxes as hereinabove set forth upon the assessment roll of said city for the year 2019, and to make the collection of the taxes imposed for and on behalf of the taxing authority according to the law, and that the taxes herein levied shall become a permanent lien and privilege on all property subject to taxation as herein set forth, and collection thereof shall be enforceable in the manner provided by law.
Okay, do I have a motion to open public hearing?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Johnson, second by? Second by Councilman Wheeler. Public hearing is now open.
Judy Johnson. Why is this on the agenda tonight? This was adopted in April, and the millage is exactly the same. Why was it not right in April?
The legislative auditor requires that the entire agenda be advertised for
Oh.
when the millage is up for approval.
Oh, so the agenda wasn't advertised.
The agenda with the resolutions, ordinances for approval, and ordinances for introduction, as always, was advertised. But for this specific resolution, the legislative auditor requires the entire agenda from top to bottom to be advertised.
I thought all of the agenda should be advertised every month, the entire agenda, and it's not.
Not by law.
So now we're doing everything twice.
Thank you.
All right, do I have a motion to close public hearing?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Johnson, second by?
Second.
By Councilman Wheeler, all in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Do I have a motion to proceed with the vote?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Johnson, second by Councilman Asbill. All in favor?
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays.
Proposed resolution number 2019-6. The following resolution was offered by Councilman Johnston. A resolution authorizing Mayor Bodier on behalf of the City of Harahan to enter into an intergovernmental agreement with the Parish of Jefferson to provide the City of Harahan funds to be used for a fire truck. Whereas the City of Harahan is a city within the Parish of Jefferson, and whereas Jefferson Parish Councilman Paul Johnston, District 2, granted the City of Harahan the funds in the amount of $300,000 to be used as a down payment for a fire truck. Now therefore be it resolved by the Harahan City Council, acting as governing authority of said city, that Mayor Tim Bodier, on behalf of the City of Harahan, is hereby authorized to enter into an intergovernmental agreement with the Parish of Jefferson to provide the City of Harahan funds to be used as a down payment for a fire truck.
Okay, do I have a motion open for public hearing?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Johnson, second by?
Second.
By Councilman Chatterling, all in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
Public hearing is now open. Anyone like to speak on this matter?
Move to close.
All right. Councilman Asbill, motions to close public hearing. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Johnson, all in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Public hearing is now closed. Council discussion.
No discussion.
No discussion. No discussion.
No discussion.
Thank you. Thank you, Councilman Johnston. All right, do I have a motion to proceed with the vote?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Johnson, second by Councilman Wheeler, all in favor?
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Madam Clerk,
All
ordinances
right.
for approval.
Ordinances for approval. Proposed ordinance
We have
number,
we amended to put up some for first reading.
first, we're
Or is-
on approval
We're on
first.
approval.
Yeah, first reading will be next.
Pardon me. Sorry.
The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Chatelain and seconded by Councilman Johnston. An ordinance granting a franchise to MCI Metro Access Transmission Corporation doing business as Verizon Access Transmission Services to lay, maintain, and operate a fiber optic transmission cable from the transmission of telephonic data and other electronic messages in, on, and/or across public places or ways, and prescribing conditions and limitations.
Okay, do I have a motion open for public hearing?
Motion.
Moved.
Motion by Councilman Johnson, second by Councilman Asbill. No one coming to speak on this matter. Do we have a motion to close public hearing?
Move.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Asbill, second by Councilman Johnson. Public hearing is now closed. Council discussion.
So on this, if you don't mind, I'm gonna interrupt you. We're gonna, I think the good idea is to defer it again. We're talking to Verizon. We realize we do not have any ordinances regulating the franchising of right-of-ways. And so we're working on, that's been put on the agenda for first reading tonight. So we're working on getting that done so we can finalize this agreement.
Okay, so we have a motion on the floor from Councilman Asbill to defer proposed ordinance 2018-26, I'm sorry. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Wheeler. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. 2018-26 is deferred. Madam Clerk.
All right, proposed ordinance number 2019-11. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Chatelain and seconded by Councilman Johnston. This is an ordinance amending the Code of Ordinances of the City of Harahan to provide for the imposition of charges for recycling services.
Okay. Do we have a motion open for public hearing?
Motion. Move.
Motion by Councilman Wheeler, second by Councilman Chatelain. All in favor?
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Public hearing is now open.
Jean Cazenave, Oak Avenue, Harahan, Louisiana. This is for recycling. It seems there is a mistake in this ordinance. In April, Councilman Asbill offered an amendment to change line 34 of the proposed ordinance from $4 to $5, which was adopted. The ordinance presented tonight shows a charge of $4. Are you changing it back to $4?
No.
No. Since Ramelli has notified the city that their recycling outlet will no longer accept recycling, why are you even adopting this ordinance? Paying for recycling that goes into a landfill is another useless charge on our water bill that we did not vote for. I don't recycle, and I don't want to pay for something that I don't use. I think a lot of people feel the same way. We were promised town hall meetings about this. Why hasn't you done that? The water bill should be for water and sewerage and nothing else unless it goes to a vote of the people. People in Harahan, you better wake up. This council keeps charging you over and over.
Judy Johnson, also Oak Street.
Ma'am, excuse me, can y'all give your full address?
Why?
Full address. I think that's what the,
That's
what
an
the rules.
evasion. I live on Oak Street. You know where I live. Okay. As Jean said, Mr. Asbill amended this ordinance last month to $5 per month for the garbage collection. However, our current ordinance, which was adopted in 1996 and has not been amended since then, says $4 per month. So has the city been overcharging us all this time? Anybody know? Why is it $5 on the bill when the ordinance says $4?
From what I understand, it was changed, but it was never codified.
Codified, where's the ordinance for it? Why wasn't it put with the agenda? This is the last ordinance, as specified by law, that has to be put with the agenda. So where's the bill, the ordinance that changes it to $5? I mean, if y'all have been overcharging us, we need to know that. I mean, since 1996, that's a lot of money. Don't y'all want to find out? Thank you.
We're gonna look into it.
Terry Valenti, 191 Colonial Club Drive. Are we being charged for recycling right now?
No.
No.
Thank you, I thought so. Are y'all, I mean, maybe you're gonna withdraw it and you don't have to hear all the public outcry. I am actually a proponent of recycling. I like to recycle. I've been driving my recyclables to Republic for months and months now. They have had a place where the public could come and dispose of their recyclables, and I was happy to do that until we got this worked out. But that gate's been closed. Republic is not taking what they used to take. This is very premature. I hope you're going to just withdraw this because it does not need to be passed in any shape or form before you have everything worked out as to what's going to happen with our materials. I would really hope you're not planning on passing it to instate it at some later date, because we were promised public meetings. The city has a lot of different feelings about recycling. Again, you're going to hear from people that are for it and people who are against it. I, being for it, am not for you passing this resolution tonight. It's premature.
Thank you.
Ordinance, I'm sorry. Ordinance.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Move
Do I have
to
a motion?
close.
Do I have a motion to close public hearing? Motion by
Motion.
Councilman Asbill, second by Councilman Johnson. Public hearing is now closed. Council discussion?
Yeah, so we are, as Ms. Valenti noted, that Republic has closed down their collection site. There is another collection site in the Baton Rouge area. We are still speaking with Ramelli. There are some state programs that may be able to subsidize the metro region of recycling. So for that reason, I'm going to defer it for now, rather than withdraw it, so that when it is ready to be brought back up, we can do it next month.
I'll second.
So I move to defer.
I'd like to comment on that. The logic being, correct me if I'm wrong, Councilman Asbill, is that when this was proposed, the cities thought they had a deal with the collector.
Correct.
In the interim, the deal went away, or this doubt was raised. Councilman Asbill, I don't believe ever intended to pass this resolution without having a deal agreed to with a collector.
Right.
That's correct.
Okay, so we have a motion on the floor by Councilman Asbill to defer ordinance number 2019-11. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Johnson. All in favor?
Yay.
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 5 yeas, 0 nays. Motion is deferred.
Proposed ordinance number 2019-12. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Asbill and seconded by Councilman Johnston. An ordinance to impose for 6 months a moratorium on the re-subdivision, rezoning, and/or issuance of permits for construction or placement of building structures on property within a portion of the city of Harahan known as J.W. Colonial Estates.
Okay, do I have a motion open for public hearing?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Chatterley, second by Councilman Wheeler. No one stepping forth to speak against this ordinance. Do we have a motion to close public hearing?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Chatterley, second by Councilman Wheeler. Public hearing is now closed. Council discussion.
Move to defer.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor from
Defer,
Councilman
withdraw.
Asbill to defer.
Sorry, defer.
You deferring?
Yeah.
Okay. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Chatterley. All in favor?
Yay.
Motion is deferred. 5 yeas, 0 nays. Madam Clerk.
And proposed ordinance number 2019-13. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Asbill and seconded by Councilman. You would like to second this?
I'll second it.
Buddy. This is an ordinance imposing a monthly service charge to provide commercial and individuals with standard fire service.
Mr. Mayor, make a point of privilege. I made a commitment at the town hall meeting to withdraw this ordinance. We do have to open it up for public comment, but I am sticking to that commitment to withdraw this ordinance. So please be advised of that as you come up to make the public comment.
Okay, do I have a motion open for public hearing?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Johnson, second by?
Second.
Second by Councilman Chatterley. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Public hearing is now open.
Majin Casdave, Oak Avenue, Harahan, Louisiana. This is in reference to the fire fee about the meeting that was held last week. At the town hall meeting about the fire fee, citizens were vehemently opposed to the fee, and Mr. Asbill said he was recalling the ordinance. I hope he follows through with that and withdraws the ordinance. putting an exorbitant charge on our water bill without knowledge of what repairs to the building are needed and what equipment needs are which we were getting, the cart before the horse. We only have one working fire station. I think a voluntary citizens committee of professional plumbers, electricians, roofers, structural engineers, commercial construction workers, plus several housewives, and I would like to add former Chief Jimmy Pretlove, who was responsible for overseeing the building of the station, be added to the committee. Once the inspection is done and the scope of work is decided upon, then a comprehensive package for repairs and equipment could be put together. Manpower and salaries are another matter. Thank you.
Felicia Jordina, Hickory Avenue. I'm glad that this has been taken off. Haspel, I have some questions for you, and also Baudier. On the council meeting from April, I heard that y'all have milled over this for weeks. This was the best that y'all could come up with, this whole council? Was to put $40 on everyone's water bill? All of y'all? It's the best you can come up with, Chatelaine?
You addressing me? I'm listening.
I'm addressing all of y'all.
I want in discussions.
Buddy? Best y'all can come up with?
All right, listen, this is address to council. We'll answer
I'm
you when
asking.
you're done. This is address to council.
I'm
We'll
asking.
answer you when you're done.
I'm asking.
Ask your questions, and when you're
I'm
done,
asking
we'll
each
answer.
individual one of y'all.
Ask your questions, and
I
when
just
we're
did,
done,
I'm
you-
asking
we
each
will
individual
answer.
one of y'all.
Please follow the rules. We'll have
If
to
you
ask
cannot
the
follow the rules of order, you can sit back down.
Oh, I know you'd like that. Yes, but what kind of research did you do on it? Do you yet know if the firehouse has ever been inspected?
Thank you for your question.
I'm gonna take that as a no. What type of ordinance did you submit to make sure that the firehouse from here on out, I don't know, maybe January, February, March, April, did you submit to see that the firehouse does get inspected? Have you submitted any? You're just gonna stare at me? Yeah?
Thank you for your question.
I'll take that you have not. How about amending the budget?
Thank
Have you amended the budget to, I don't know, get someone to inspect the mold that's supposed to be in the firehouse? Maybe the plumbing or the roof? Did you amend the budget for that?
Thank you for your question.
You didn't. You just thought that you could put $40 on everybody's bill and get away with it. And y'all mulled this over for weeks. Weeks. Right? Where is the mold in the firehouse?
Thank you for your question.
You don't know where the mold is? You don't know where the mold is, do you? You don't know. Where's the plumbing that's bad? Yes, but where is the plumbing in the firehouse that's bad that you want the people to pay for? You don't know. About the roof. You had somebody inspect the roof? It's leaking, from what I understand. Did you amend the budget to have someone inspect the roof? What kind of research did you do? None of y'all did research. What ethical responsibilities did you have as an attorney to address the mold, the plumbing, and the roofing issues that you've known about supposedly since September 2018, but you never said anything about it? What are your responsibilities as an attorney? You're not going to answer me? You don't think you have any ethical responsibilities as an attorney, do you? But you do. It's funny.
You are funny, yes.
Thank you. A lot of people think I'm in more ways than one. How long has JP been responding to Harahan's fires? How long? What's their response time? This is something I asked you at the town hall. You still don't know? What's our fire department's response time? You still don't know? I asked you that at the town hall also. Building inspections, you haven't put an ordinance for that to have the building inspected, correct? Do you think you've been transparent? You campaigned on that. Do you think you've been transparent?
Ms. Giardina, I'd ask that you stick to the ordinance.
It is about the ordinance.
General transparency is not about the ordinance.
Sure it
You
is.
want to ask a transparency
Every
be about the
ordinance has something to do with transparency. Everything you do is subject to
Mr.
transparency.
Udina, can you
Mr.
wrap
Mayor?
up, can you wrap up your
Mr. Mayor,
performance here?
Mr. Mayor, I'm going to make a motion to suspend the
You can
lady's
get up here
time.
and cry for hours. Shut up.
Can you wrap up what you have to say?
I'm trying. I'm
Mr.
asking
Mayor,
him
I'm gonna
questions. He
second his
won't
motion.
answer.
Thank you.
All right, we have a motion to suspend Lisa
It's all right, I'll be
Giardina's
back.
time. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Time is suspended.
Terry Valenti, Colonial Club Drive. I think what she's trying to point out, what we learned at the meeting, which many people did attend, some didn't, is that you didn't have answers for all of those pertinent questions. There was just a huge amount of money that was going to be placed on everybody's water bill, and with no knowledge as to what the particulars were, that you would think someone that had done their studying for weeks and weeks would have come up with. What I am appalled at, and I'm very appalled at it, and Mayor, I would like respectfully to ask you, how is it that you have a fire chief that has mold in the building and he has not come to you and told you, hey, there's mold here, it needs to be taken care of? Either he did and you didn't do anything about it, which I'm starting to believe is not the case. I think the case might be that we have mold that our firemen are exposed to, which has not been remediated and which has not been reported or inspected. And I would like to know if, as mayor of this city, if you feel that falls under your purview and what your thoughts are on it. Because none of our employees should be expected to work in that kind of environment and not at least have the person that is over them bring it to the attention of our councilman and our mayor. Would you address that?
When you're done, I'll address it.
I'm done.
Thank you.
I was at the town hall meeting, and I had did some research. And I asked our chief to go to Westwego and talk to their chief. They have 11 paid firemen, and they have 75 active volunteers. And I don't see why Harahan can't do the same. Westwego is about the same size as us, but they have a lot bigger budget because they have more industrial. I don't know what St. Cyr has found out, but I would like to know. And I've been asking for a list of repairs that are needed since that meeting, and I still don't have it. Has anybody inspected the building at all? Does anybody know? You know, sitting up here and acting like Mount Rushmore is not going to help. We need answers. Has the building been inspected since that town hall meeting? That's 2 weeks ago. Guys, I'm sorry you'll have to live with mold, but ask them why. The Citizens Committee is a great idea. Don't put any politicians on it. We don't want politicians on it. We want people who are going to act and do something.
Hi, I'm Tommy Davis Duffy, and I live at 134 Crislaw Avenue. And I'm going to read from my notes that are not like Miss Magine. They're not on pen and paper. They're on my phone. But I also wanted to point out to Todd St. Cyr that there's a lady in the meeting here that said she works for a remediation company. Is that right? A mold inspection. So if you guys want to talk to her after the meeting, that might be a great idea. Anyway, the firemen wrote a letter or a post in Facebook supporting Chief Todd St. Cyr. I love him personally, but I felt called to write about what I thought about the town hall meeting, and I thank you for even opening up the doors to a town hall meeting. I was surprised that we had so many people there and proud that our elderly got out in the rain like they did. Anyway, a response to the noblemen and firefighters of Station 5071. Thank you for your expressions of loyalty to one another. We appreciate the brotherhood you share and the service you provide. The citizens of Harahan are and have always fully been behind our fire department and our beloved men. But we can no longer be supportive and led around blindly. We have to have some answers. And I know you're getting that because you're hearing everybody say that right now. But furthermore, the debacle that made a joke of the last millage voted exclusively for the HPD has destroyed the confidence of the citizens to follow blindly. We can't do that anymore. It was a huge amount of money, and we have 8 policemen now, and down from 21.
Can you stick to the topic, please?
So I'm just telling you that it has really destroyed the confidence that the citizens have. And all I'm asking is that you work with us to help us get it back. We want to believe in you. It's a lot easier. We want to believe you're going to take care of things because then we don't have to. But the lack of preparedness and straightforward communication on both Chief St. Cyr and Councilman Asbill's part at the town hall meeting showed a great deal of disrespect toward and undermining of the citizens, especially the aged. I'm sorry to have felt that you guys felt the blowback to what was going on, but I felt like y'all showed up unprepared. The first step to supporting and changing things properly and for the better of Fire Station 5071 is to analyze the infrastructure that has failed in the last 20 years. Please do not confuse getting to the source of the dysfunction for blaming and finger pointing. That's not what we're doing. We need to get to what really is the problem.
Really?
The citizens of Harahan need and deserve proficient and proven leadership, and through analysis of the needs of this department and a city council who can be trusted to clearly produce with transparency its needs and possible solutions, we can then intelligently decide how to best support and proceed, or whether this department needs to be relinquished to the parish. So I'm just asking y'all, we need to know that you've done your homework and as well as we have, and that we can trust you to work together with us. And that's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
How's it going, everybody? John Voce, 7612 Stoneleigh. I feel like an outsider, so I just moved into the city back in October, and I was a little disappointed. I'm a little disappointed tonight because, I mean, Councilman Asbill, you're a lawyer, and silencing your citizens is just not cool to me.
She's not our citizen.
Whether or not she's a citizen or not, Mayor, she's a concerned citizen. She may not be here. I don't know. I don't know her personally. But silencing the people is really strange to me. These are your people. And I asked a lot of questions of you guys, and there's a lot of data that you could have gone online. I literally sat in my recliner before the town hall, and I did 5 minutes of research to find out what the overburden rate was. What would $40 a month do to your constituency? Did anybody do that? It's basic math, guys. A laundry list of bills that your constituents have. Did anybody look at that? That's what I was kind of disappointed with. And again, I still feel like an outsider. And I heard some things that I don't think anybody really knew the answer to, and that was solutions. So I think this is an easy fix. You just have to run the numbers, and it's basic math. We don't have a personnel problem, I feel, because I think we can go out and get the guys we need to be successful. What we have is a math problem. And if we sit it and we put it down on paper and we see how outrageous these numbers are, I mean, again, we'll go back to the solutions. So what did we do? As a concerned citizen, I went home. I heard volunteer fire department. I'm like, I've never heard of a volunteer. I'm from Mid-City. I lived in Old Jefferson. So I literally went on Facebook, and everybody was complaining about Facebook, but I went on Facebook and I messaged the volunteer fire department of West Wego. And in 5 minutes, I had an appointment on Tuesday, 2 Tuesdays ago. And if someone would like to, I'm not going to point them out. And that's what leaders do. Leaders don't sit and say nothing while they're yelling at each other. Mayor, please. I'm asking you to be a leader here. 5 minutes on Facebook, and I have pages of notes on how a well-oiled machine of a fire department that is a 10-minute drive away from here in a beautiful facility with no mold, with beds that were made with West Wego blankets. It was beautiful. Now I'm saying they do have the right people in the right places, but we can do that here. But if we take a model and we mirror that model, we can do it here. Ms. Asbill, you've attacked the water bill 2 times for recycling and this fire department. Who are you talking to do that? That's ridiculous, man.
What's your name? I'm sorry, I missed your name.
John Boche. So I've got solutions here. And I invited somebody, and I'm happy that he attended with me. I don't know if he wants to identify himself, but it was a fun meeting. Would that be okay? Yeah. This man right here showed a lot of heart at the town hall, and he wears his heart on his sleeve. So I invited him to attend, and we had a pretty good meeting. And yeah, they do a lot over there, and I hope we can do a lot over here as well.
Thanks, John.
Sue Benton, 77 Colonial Club Drive. I just want to remind everybody that at the town hall meeting, my neighbor, Carolyn Clausing, volunteered her time to Chief St. Cyr for grant writing. And I ran into her a few days after that meeting, and she said that she had not yet heard from Chief St. Cyr. And so I was just wondering if Chief St. Cyr had contacted Ms. Clausing yet. I know she was out of town, so if you did try to reach her and she didn't respond, but I know she's back in town now. So I guess I won't get an answer to that. I'm assuming that's a no. Thank you.
Thank you. Move to close the public hearing.
All right, we have a motion by Councilman Asbill to move to close the public hearing.
Second.
No, oh, come on. Come on. Come on.
You come on up. Come on up.
If anybody else wishes to speak, come on up so we don't close it on you, please.
Michael Amedio, 409 Crescione. Quick question.
Is it on?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Michael Amedio, 409 Crescione. Hey, Todd, quick question, and you can shake your head yes or no, but how many people reached out to you about seeing what they could do to help as far as calling other people, calling representatives? You've had a few, right? All right, good deal. I'm just making sure that, as a city, that we're not relying only on our elected officials, but if the same people complaining are also trying to help as well, So that's all I'm worried about. All right. Thank you.
Terry Bologna, 306 East Avenue, Harahan, Louisiana.
Yeah, microphone.
Hate these things. Terry Bologna, 306 East Avenue, Harahan, Louisiana. I did speak at the town hall meeting. I'm kind of stunned at some of the comments that were there and some of the comments this evening. I do want to thank Councilman Aspil for bringing this problem to public attention and starting a conversation on it. I can't say that a lot of the questions that have been darted at you all this evening are questions that, in my experience of going to city council meetings and being active in my community I've been attending city council meetings for 50 years, not to date myself, but that some of the questions that came up, like inspecting a building for safety, that's not a budget issue. It's not a line item issue, it's not an ordinance issue. It's something that you do as facility management, and I'm sure a lot of that's been done. There's no reason.
She didn't interrupt you guys. Let her speak. Thank you.
Thank you. You said that before I got a chance to. Appreciate it. No, I'm not saying that the work has been done. It hasn't been done because that's why it's an issue now. But that doesn't mean that it hasn't been inspected. It doesn't mean that the fire chief and the firemen that work for him have not been trying to take care of it with what they could and the resources they had in between doing their fire chief and fireman duties, and having their own lives. It's something that's happened. We can't fix the past. We can learn from it. It's not expedient to keep beating people up. We need to find solutions. We need to move forward. We need to do it as a community rather than throwing darts at each other and other people. That's reprehensible. It gets nobody anywhere. For my mind, I know some of the conversations at the town hall were the millage, and I'm still figuring that out. That didn't exist in the Commonwealth of Virginia or Washington, D.C., so I'm still working my head around that one. But if, as so many people were nattering about, if we were to unincorporate or make our fire department go away and have Jefferson Parish, we'd have a much higher total millage for the fire department than we do now. To my mind, excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, I was not rude to you. I was not disrespectful to any of you when you were speaking. It's not good citizenship. I don't deserve it. So please, I'll be done faster if you quit being so damn disrespectful. What? We don't need to be scolded as the audience.
Excuse me.
But to my mind, I would consider and be willing for my little single vote to support a millage that brings us up to the par that we would have to pay total. Because I think from what I saw on one of the budget line items, there's already a 5 millage. But to support one that would bring us up to that total, that we would have to absorb and work into if we were unincorporated or if we didn't have our fire department. I still haven't figured out how to make the numbers work with your millages and the number of people there are in Harahan. I don't know how much of a resolution that would solve to what the fire department's line item budget items are. And if there was a way, you said that if you did a millage now, something had to be done by July, it would be voted on in October, but it wouldn't be available till the end of 2020.
Correct.
Okay, so is there any way to do something in the interim? I know you all told me that there were no reserve funds. There were no funds to move something from here to there. And that makes sense. This is a small wee town. Is there any way to do something in the interim? Maybe a fee? I would prefer a tax because it comes off of my taxes that way, but maybe a fee in the interim to help get some of this started. Is there any way to bring the community together cohesively and do something? One of the other ladies said the same thing, basically. Have them come in. We have a remediation specialist here. I'm sure there are businesses in Harahan or people in Harahan that are roofers or electricians. As a matter of fact, a number of our firemen are roofers and plumbers and electricians. But to have people do essentially an old-fashioned community barn raising, I'm willing to put my time and my money there. I can't do much. I can clean, I can sew, I can paint, and I can cook for the people who are doing everything else. That's all I can do. But we need to do something. We need to do something and move forward as opposed to continuously throwing darts at people. Learn from the past, but move forward. And maybe, as some people have suggested, have a citizens oversight committee that can help look at some of these budget items and bring them and report it to county council. And make it open so people have some of these answers. Thank you for your time, and thanking you for letting, you gentlemen, for letting me be a cranky old lady when I needed to.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Debbie Warshbell, West Shannon Lane. I just have a couple of things to say because I just learned this myself, and I've lived here 15 years. I did not realize I did not get my homestead here in Harahan.
Correct.
So when you say the millage will be better in Harahan, that's not true.
It still is.
No, no,
Five
I
mills
figured
compared
it
to
all.
25 mills, it doesn't matter.
He wants
It's-
another
it's-
20 mills.
Well,
So
no,
it's 25 mills,
yes,
and
yes,
Jefferson Parish
yes.
is
If that's what you're talking about,
24.01.
yes.
And Jefferson
Right.
Parish is 24.01 with my $75,000 homesteading and with my assessment not going up because we're over 65. I'm better off with Jefferson Parish. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But I'm not a lifelong Harahan person, but I've lived here 15 years, paid my taxes. Really see no benefits to paying extra taxes to Harahan. I'm being honest with you. And there's a lot of people like me now living in Harahan. We're not lifers, okay? And sometimes it's just time when you've priced yourself out at $3.3 million a year for a fire department that covers 2.5 square miles, and comparing it to Kenner, don't compare apples to oranges. It's time. I'm sorry, guys, you got to look at it as a business. And why isn't this council saying, okay, residents, here's the truth. If we go with Jefferson Parish at 24.01 mills, this is what it's going to cost you. If we stay with Harahan at 25 mills, this is what you're going to pay. Be honest to your citizens. Represent us. We put you there. And things were, I know at the other meeting, I was looked at like I was a Tina supporter. Wrong. I voted for this administration, and I do regret it now.
All right.
Move to close.
Motion by Councilman Asbill, second by
Second.
Councilman Johnson to close public hearing. All right,
I just want to state before we move on, when everybody was
yeah.
bringing up about the millage, I didn't know y'all were reflecting the 20 mills that he was talking about. I thought y'all were talking about what we have apples to apples right now, and we are paying a lot less right now.
Anybody else?
Yeah, I'd like to state a couple things. After that town hall meeting, two people reached out to me, Ms. Clausen and Mr. John. I know a lot of y'all reached out to other people, and I appreciate what y'all doing. I do believe the city's moving forward. We have the city engineer evaluating this situation. We're not gonna take everybody off the street to go over there and evaluate this. The city engineer is gonna evaluate this, see where it stands, and we're gonna move forward from there. So a few of the questions that y'all might have asked, I wanna answer them now, you know. So we do have the city engineer evaluating this. He's gonna give us a report, and then we're gonna decide where we need to move forward with. So that's the answers right now that I have for you. Feel free to call me if there's something else I can answer.
Would like us to do an RFP.
So Ms. Clausen would like us to do an RFP. So I'm still waiting to get back with her to see what she's looking to move forward with that. But we are working to see what grants are available for us, and then we'd go to Ms. Clausen and say, hey, these grants are available. Maybe we can move forward with this. I don't want y'all to think we walked away from that town hall meeting and didn't do anything. I went and sat at West Wego with Mr. John for a couple hours. You know, we walked the facility. It's beautiful. They also told us it took them 18 years to get that facility built. You know, he said they cut grass. You know, they had state grants they helped match to work on that facility. They also told me they have 200 members in their volunteer system. They also told me they have 50 or 75, I'm not sure, I don't have paper in front of me. 50 or 75 active members but they also told me they only have 25 that are certified. So what if one of these 20, what if one of these 200 members show up to a fire and something happens and there's only 25 that are certified? What happens to the other 175 people if something happens? So there's a little liability issue. We're working on that. We're working with the chief. You know, we're trying to move forward. I don't want y'all to think that we walked away and did nothing. I still, and I know a lot of y'all might get upset, I still have a lot of respect for Councilman Asbill for bringing this up. He brought this to everyone's attention. If this wouldn't have happened, we wouldn't be here trying to fight to get these problems resolved. I appreciate every one of y'all that come here and do the things y'all do. It takes time from your family to come here and sit at this meeting. I respect y'all. I respect y'all to call me if y'all have an issue. I gave my number out numerous times, and I'll give it out again at the end of the day. Anybody can get in touch with me. I look forward to moving this city forward. I know the rest of this council does. I know all of you citizens do. We need to agree to disagree in a kind manner. Appreciate it. Thank you. We're done right now. You can call me on the phone. You can call me on the phone.
I'd like to make a
Thank you.
couple of comments. The problems with our fire department didn't come about since January 1st. They've existed for many years. Our firemen haven't had a raise in over a decade. This problem's grown, and it's being addressed today, and it's a big problem. The second thing I'd like to say is the council didn't vote at all, not once, on that water bill fee. It was proposed. I, for one, went to that town hall meeting, like many of you did, to listen and learn. Chief St. Cyr did not do his full presentation because Councilman Asbill said he was going to pull this proposed ordinance. There is an obligation of the fire department and the city to explain in greater detail the specific needs, and I'm sure that's going to happen. I haven't had a chance to talk to the chief about it or the mayor, but I'm highly confident that they're going to do that, and it's absolutely the right thing to do. So there was no vote by this council. Just so everyone understands, had we all gotten together and knew exactly what was being proposed, we, the council, we would have been in violation of the Sunshine Law. I had not seen the chief's proposal. I know he has serious needs because I've walked that fire department back in November, December, met with the firemen. I know they have serious needs. I don't know the numbers exactly. So there was a lot of accusations, jumping the gun, anger by citizens, nasty verbiage that was absolutely uncalled for, purely speculative, made up, generating a lot of ill will, attacking a good man, our fire chief, who served this community for 25, 30 years. It's uncalled for. So everybody be patient. No one's taken any action up here. There was no council vote. There was a proposed ordinance and a town hall meeting to allow the citizens' input. That's about as transparent as you can get. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. You're wrong. The town hall meeting had nothing to do with your complaining. And if you interrupt me again, I'm going to ask to have you removed. Please remove her from the... And I'd like to explain that. The town hall meeting was what made the public aware of the details. We had a proposed ordinance. It was public. It's transparent. That is the mechanism for notifying citizens. We had a proposed ordinance. Nothing's done until the next council meeting. In the interim, and at the last council meeting, when the ordinance was proposed, the town hall meeting was announced to allow for citizen input. So I'm sorry if some citizens disagree, but I think the council and the chief and Councilman Asbill did exactly what should have been done. It was completely transparent. Now, people may not have liked what was being proposed, but it wasn't done in a back room. And to say anything differently is just dishonest. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm ready. You got anything, sir?
I do, but I'll finish if you
Go
don't
ahead.
mind. All right. We had a resident step up and say there was no finger pointing, but I can't tell you how many times the Hateful Eight got on Facebook and called for Chief St. Cyr's resignation. So where do you think we're really going with the Hateful Eight trying to dictate the outcome of where this city goes? It's terrible. You saw it at the town hall meeting, Mr. John. I'm sorry about that. And you're right. You know, we should have leadership here, but this Facebook has become such a weapon against us. It's ridiculous, and it's even got to the point where people were using the word kill over the weekend, talking about kill the flock. That was actually posted on Facebook. You asked me about what could I do, what have I done, and what are we doing as a leader? First of all, I was a councilman for a while. The mayor decides.
We know.
The mayor decides in what direction the fire departments go under. I was not a mayor, but I can tell you what I did as a councilman for 10 years. I've done what West Wego has done. I have fought and fought and fought for commercial development here. But yet, over and over and over, it's been rebuked because we are a bedroom community. I didn't develop Hickory Avenue or Jefferson Highway, but our forefathers did, and they did it in order to prop up commercial businesses to where they can take the burden of the tax off our citizens. This is a hard town, and they don't, change is very hard here. But now we've gotten to the point where we have to change. I've owned my own company for quite a while, and the day I know that I can't change anymore is the day that I know I'm closing the door. Now I'm in the driver's seat, and I can do something for this chief, and I have vowed to him from day one, and he knows it, and his men. And let me tell you something, I went back there one day, and I got an ass chewing out, and they let me have it, and we went through that building, and I've got lists, and you know what? It's a real long story, but I have been there every day. Every time, every chance me and St. Cyr get to talk, it's every day. What can we do? Where can we go? How can we fix it? What's out there? Where's it going on? And you did bring a lot of things to light. You know, we've talked about 65,000 being a median income. And you know what? To be honest with you, I never looked at it like that. What I looked at it is how important is our fire department to us. Yeah, let's go to Jefferson Parish and pay 25 mils, 24.01 mils. Your response time changes from 3 minutes to 7 minutes. 60 seconds is life or death. So is that few dollars worth your family's life? You know, and that's the things that we were looking at. You know, with how important is it to us? Do we want a bedroom community? Well, Jesus, having our own fire department is defined by our own police department and our fire department. But yes, you are correct, and I got to tell you, you know, when we come to listen to you talk, and even though you're handing us some truths up here, I like that because you did it in a respectful manner, and you came and talked to us like a gentleman, and that's awesome. And we would love to have you come help us, love it. And I know Councilman Chatelain and I are very good friends outside of this, and he spoke highly of you in the meeting. And I can't be everywhere doing everything all the time, and so he went and he filled me in on everything, and I really appreciate that. I really appreciate you taking your time and effort away from your family and your life. And though I'm fairly a newcomer too, you know, I've only been here 15 years, like Ms. Worsham, but here, if you're not born here, you're a newcomer. So that's how it's defined. But thank you very much, and that's all I wanted to tell you. You got it, Councilman Asbill.
As mentioned from the outset, I made a commitment to withdraw this ordinance. But also I made a commitment during the campaign to the firemen that we're going to fix the fire department. And so that commitment still stands. We just got to find another way. Madam Clerk, please withdraw this ordinance from consideration.
All right, ordinances for introduction. Proposed ordinance number 2019-14. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Asbill. An ordinance to amend the City of Harahan Code of Ordinances to provide for the establishment of procedures, terms, and conditions managing the occupancy and use of public right-of-way by providers of telecommunications services. And proposed ordinance number 2019-15. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Johnson. This is an ordinance amending ordinance number 1866, the annual budget revenues and expenditures for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2019 for the city of Harahan, Louisiana. And proposed ordinance number 2019-16. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Johnston. This is an ordinance amending ordinance number 1866, the annual budget revenues and expenditures for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2019 for the city of Harahan, Louisiana.
And if I could just clarify real quick, because they have the same title, the 2019-15 is for the $300,000 to go for the fire truck, and the 2019-16 is for the maintenance with the $250,000 toward street repairs. Just wanted to clarify.
All right, there's no old business. And new business, number 1, the HFD Community Cookout is requesting permission to sell beer and daiquiris at Harahan Playground on July 20th for the community cookout.
It's going to be in the evening. It's just going to be in the evening. Yeah.
Okay, no problem.
Okay. Do I have a motion to grant permission?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Johnson, second by?
Second.
Second by Councilman Wheeler. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. We'll talk about this in the end, come back to it.
All right, address the council.
Okay?
Dale Seminole, 140 McHugh. A couple of Sundays ago, we had a very significant heavy rainfall. In a short period of time, the water rose in the streets, first time in quite a while, on many of the streets below Jefferson Highway, the south of the highway, McHugh and the surrounding streets. And water was touching my front porch, and the rain stopped. If it had kept raining for another half hour, there'd probably be water inside the house. The rain stopped, but the water was not draining off. And Mayor, I seen you at the street, and you came down McHugh walking in the water to talk to my neighbors and myself. We appreciate that. What I'd like to ask, I think the reason the water is not draining properly on the south side of the highway is that years ago, there was a program in Harahan where there was scheduled flushing of the drainage pipes under the highway because the leaves would continually clog those pipes. Well, that program stopped, and to my knowledge, it's been years since the drainage pipes under the streets on the south side of the highway and some of the north have been flushed. And I really think that flushing the leaves and the debris out of the drainage pipes will significantly help the drainage on the south side of the highway. And I think it would be very cost effective to have that program stored up again, and especially now that we're at the beginning of the hurricane season. And there's already reports of tropical depressions and disturbances already in the Atlantic and the South and the Caribbean. So I'd like to ask, Mayor, that program be reinstituted. And I understand that there might be a flush truck that Jefferson Parish might allow us to use.
I could actually interrupt you there for a second. It has been offered to us for a couple years for the flushing the drains out. Jefferson Parish asked for a list, and from what I understand, Jefferson Parish never received a list.
Stealing my thunder over it. You're stealing my thunder.
Yeah.
So that program has been started up again, thanks to Councilman Johnson and former Mayor Carlo Ferreira. Former Mayor Carlo Ferreira was actually out there with me that morning, almost 90 years old, out in the floods with me, right? He was out there with me that morning, and while we were raking drains, my wife and I, he was there with me, and he actually contacted Councilman Johnson, and that program has already started, I believe, today. They were actually on River Road at the end because there was another bad flood at the end of OK and River Road, and I believe they're starting now with the vacuum trucks. But we are working on that. Thank you for your input, because it was because of you who told me about it. You know, we actually went out and got it done.
And also, just as important is the drains under Jefferson Highway, which I think is responsibility of the state.
Right. And that's another problem with that, because they actually shrink up when it gets to the highway, and that also causes the backup.
Right. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Just of note, I saw two pumpers, I guess suction trucks, on Dozier today.
Yes, sir.
Not too very far from Riverside. And it may be a matter, Mayor, of redirecting them potentially. Maybe you could talk to Mr. Myers and see if it wouldn't make more sense to have them concentrate on any drain lines under Jefferson Highway first.
Right.
Since that's probably what's causing the pooling
We'll
effect.
talk to Representative Talbot too as well and get him involved, you know, so the entire burden isn't on the parish of the city. But thank you, Councilman Buddy.
Yes, ma'am.
Nadine Cazenave, Oak Avenue, Harahan, Louisiana. This is the third month in a row I have gotten up to speak on silencing the people. Mr. Asbill, you and this council have shown that you don't want to hear what the people have to say. You have tried to limit the time, the topics, and the general tone of what the people have to say. During the prior administration, you and others used the first address to council to rant at the mayor and prolong the meetings. Now that you're up here, it's a different story. Let me remind you, sir, that I pay your salary. We want the address to council back at the beginning of the meeting, along with the second address to council at the end of the meeting. You are paid to listen to us, so do it.
I agree with Nadine. Anybody else? We all do.
Thank you, Council, for your time. My name is William Wallace. I'm addressing you guys. I'm a resident of River Ridge, and taking my time to let you guys know that I'm running for state representative for River Ridge and Harahan and parts of Metairie. It's District 78. But I want to take the time not only to introduce myself, but to let everybody know I don't want to be somebody that is a resident of River Ridge and doesn't care about Harahan. So I come to these meetings because I care about Harahan also at the same time. And I want to do more things to find positive solutions to unite everybody. I watch these council meetings and I see everybody fighting with each other because there's so much passion in your hearts no matter what side you stand on. You know, you either love the council, you hate the council, you love each other, you hate each other, wherever you stand. Well, if you all use and we use that together, that passion to find the solutions, we're going to find solutions for Harahan and everybody here so we can all live a little bit more harmoniously. Fighting amongst each other, we don't get anything solved. So as a state representative, I want to find ways to not only find solutions, but bring everybody together in this community. We're all in the same community. I mean, it's not River Ridge and Harahan, it's one community. We're all connected by the same boundaries here, and we're all going to suffer the same fall if we don't stand together and do things. Whether you disagree with these guys or not up here, they don't make a lot of money. They put their necks on the line, whether we agree or disagree with them. They're getting calls all day long. They've got regular businesses, regular incomes that they're basically putting on the side for the community, okay? And they're not, let me tell you, they don't get compensated for this. They might get some money, and yes, our tax dollars here, your tax dollars here may pay for their time here, but what they could make in the private sector and what they could make, and look, just the time that they take away from their families here, just the time that they don't spend with at their homes getting things done. Look, I got a wife at home, and let me tell you something. When I come to things like this, and I go home, and she's got the honey-do list that I haven't done, you know, and I have to hear, well, you know, they get that too, okay? And I know you might not care about it. We might care about it. Like I said, agree with them, disagree with them. They're putting their necks on the line. At least they're trying to do something and get it going. So the least that we all can do is try to work together to find solutions. So when I'm knocking on your door and I'm introducing myself, let's stay positive because that's what I want to do. I don't want to be here the division. I want to hear solutions, and I'm going to try to bring solutions to you when I knock on your door. I'm going to try to talk to everybody to find things out. Because that's what we need to do to make this town work. That we got to stick together. Because the part of the reason why everything's falling apart is because nobody has stood together on this. And I'm not here to point fingers. I'm just here to say,
It's time for everybody to unite and try to be positive. It's hard because you might not always disagree with each other. It's going to be difficult. But if we talk with each other, be decent with each other, we're going to find solutions to this. And again, as a state representative, some things are my job to be in the community. There's some things that the councilman's job, whether it's Parish or Harahan. But I'm going to be an active member of this community, and I want to help anything that I can to bring people together, bring the state here if I have to do that, to be able to help this community. I'm going to be in the back. If you want to get my number, get a card. My Facebook page is William Wallace for District 78. I've seen comments. People don't know who I am. Get to know me. I will take your number. You can take my number. Reach out to me. Let's look for positive solutions for this community, everybody. Thank you.
I'm Tommy Davis Duffy. It's changed just recently. That's why I'm so confused. And I live at 134 Chrislaw. And I agree with wanting a positive solution, but without truth, we have nothing. And so I'm going to tell you the truth. We need for you to earn our trust. Are any of you here for the salary that he was just talking about? Did you run for the salary? No, it has nothing to do with what you're up here for. So that's a moot point. What we're expecting of you is to treat Harahan as a business, run it as a business, and we have to do whatever it takes to keep it afloat. And we want to be on your side. We keep saying that, but there's been a lot of damage that's been done, and you have to own some of it, you know. Well, anyway, now I have to get back to my notes. Please, I'm sorry. These are the things, I have this, and I'm going to print it up and give it to each of y'all. It's just something to consider. I'm not picking on anybody. I'm just saying this is things to consider. We'd like you to move the general address of the council to the beginning of the meeting by ordinance again. We'd like you to post all contracts and retainers online, including the past, present, and present city attorneys, contracted attorney for wood material case, transition CPA, insurance agent, payroll firm, and audit firm, etc. We had an up and running, I was under the impression that we had an up and running website, and we're not using it. And it would cut down on a lot of the conversation that's going on if you communicate with us.
The reason why nothing's been done because they're revamping their website. That's why we're having
somebody
issues
said
getting
it's
everything
very
on there.
expensive and very time consuming. Right. So we'd like you to publicly disclose the relationships between the city's new CPA firm and the contracted external auditor. We'd like you to we'd like the city CPA to present financials at the city council meetings. We'd like you to post all mayor and city council complete regular and special city council meetings packets online. So we can view them at our leisure. I have to go and ask explanation. I'll come to some of y'all and ask, but I don't even know what we're dealing with in these times. We need you to update monthly city council agenda section pertaining to litigation, including the HPD. The chief of police updates to the mayor, council, and residents on the state of the HPD. That was nice what we heard, but we need to know what's going on. We hear it. We know what's coming out of there right now. We need to have some explanation there. We need to know what process the chief of police follows to select the assistant chief of police. Was this assistant chief of police, was he the only candidate? Let's see. We especially in light of the recent past police millage, what happens to the unused salary line items that we're now so low on, from 21 to 7 cops? I just would like to know. We need you to post dates and minutes of all city meetings online. We'll get to that, right? We need the city council, planning and zoning, variance, civil service, and subcommittees. We need to know what's going on there. We need to know what process was followed to select the city engineer, the city planner, and the external auditor. Were requests for proposal and qualifications publicly advertised, and how were the selections made? We would just like to know. I'm trying to get a grip on civics as it is, and I would just like to know. We'd like you to post the submissions from the past 5 years to the city's fire rating and the subsequent ratings received. That way, we kind of are a little bit, we're coming along with you intelligently when you ask us for more money for the fire department. We need you to explain how the colonial development impacts the fire department, and does the development have any impact on the HFD's urgent issues? And I was just wondering if anybody could answer this. Why have they halted any of the work that was done? Was it because of the excess rain we had, or is there a reason they stopped work on? Okay.
Yeah, the riverside, probably
Yeah.
they can't do any construction.
Okay. Oh, yeah, yeah.
The river will
Pile
prevent them
drivers.
from doing any excavation work.
It's high, and we've had an
So-
exorbitant amount of rain.
But they
Okay.
poured a slab, and I'm not sure why they're not coming up
I wanted
out of
to
the
stop,
ground.
but I was afraid it was private property. The city's health insurance plan is about to be renewed or changed. What were the bids, and how does the health insurance bids affect the budget? We'd kind of like to know that. If we could just kind of get off all the other stuff, this is the business we want to know. And let's see, we'd like you to post check register as required by ordinances. And we'd like to have the new city engineer address the mayor and the council about the flooding, just to kind of keep us abreast of all that. I just want to say that, you know, living in the present makes things difficult. I am not finger pointing. I'm researching and finding out what's wrong and what are the options for fixing it. And one of the things I just want to tell y'all is that when we're gone from here, your salary's not going to matter. Your popularity is not going to matter. It's what we do for Harahan and the children that we have now, the people that are coming behind us. And so I'm asking you to make it a point that may all who come behind us find us faithful to whatever it is we're appointed to do. And I want you to know that we as citizens, we're doing the same thing. It's just that we're frustrated and we're in the dark, and that's not a good place to have your constituents. So please help us out here.
Ms. Davis, I have a question for you. You stated that the Harahan Police Department was down to 7 officers.
That's rumor.
Okay, and see, that's what I think the problem is in this city.
Are they
wait,
down
ma'am,
to
just hear me out 1
paid?
second.
Okay.
I saw the post on Facebook, and I truly believe the Facebook is the root of the division of this city. I truly believe it. I saw the post, and you know what I did? I called my councilman Chatelaine. I said, would you mind coming to me to a meeting with the chief and the assistant chief? Because you know what? I need to get facts myself. So I know people think we're just sitting back and not doing anything.
What did you find?
I was told 18 active.
Volunteers or
No,
paid?
no, active. We were given a list of the platoons that go out at certain shifts. We were told that there was a traffic. They gave us basically a chart that was divided out, because that was the first question I asked, because I saw what everybody sees on Facebook.
Yes.
And I think that's the problem sometimes. People go on it and people just post, and all it does is just feed. It really does feed.
Because nobody comes in and answers us.
But you know what? Instead of just believing what is put out there,
We
go
should
to-
just follow you blindly, right?
No, Ms. Davis, you're asking me, when I asked you about your 7, you said it was a rumor. So contact the chief, contact the assistant chief. There's captains, there's lieutenants, it took me 1 day to call us a chief. I have some questions about the department. Can I see you? The very next day I had a meeting. Yesterday we met, as a matter of fact, because I saw the same post just like everybody else did, and it spun into this, oh my God, we only have 8 people, and oh my God, what's happening to the city?
We're concerned about where our money went.
No, and Ms. Davis, and I'm attacked, we're all here too. I just went and scheduled a meeting, just found out. I just think sometimes people are just taking what they're seeing and just kind of running with it instead of just coming to find the facts, that's all.
But better
That's
than
all.
platitudes coming from the chief of police. He probably should be up here addressing it. in
And
this
Ms. Davis,
meeting.
just so you know, I said that to the chief yesterday.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm not being,
And I'm not being either.
Okay.
I'm not being here either. I just think
Maybe I am.
sometimes instead of people just taking of what they're believing and just spinning it and creating such division in this city, that like everybody's, let's just bring it down. Let's try to bring it together and just don't read out, get to the facts. If somebody says something, try to find out before you just go ahead and make and just feed this division.
y'all
that's-
are in control. And the best weapon you can have is that city website. You don't want to battle Facebook? Get the website up and running and let us know what the hell is going on.
Okay, but I don't know if they put personnel issues on the city website. So to say, I mean, I could be wrong.
That's
I've
not
never
personnel
seen
issues.
how
That's
many
where my
officers
DAX dollars are
No,
going.
Ms. Davis, I mean, I've never seen any department of all the long the city website's been up. Does it say how many firemen we have? Does it say how many policemen?
When they
does it
asked
have?
for the money, they sure said it.
No, I'm asking you. That's what I'm just saying.
sorry.
I just went,
In
But
the
if
proposed
you ever
budget,
want-
they'll have it, but that's about it.
If you ever want somebody on your side, you want me, because I am passionate. So I'm sorry that gets me in trouble, but I'm just,
and I'm
I'm
just
putting
stating, I
out
just-
there what
and-
the citizens are asking for.
Right.
And
But I think sometimes people are just taking what somebody is posting as that's what it is.
because we had nothing else to go on.
Then go to the chief. All you can do is ask.
You're
I
being,
mean,
you're being led blind by nothing else to go on? That's what you're saying? I'm being led, I don't want to be led blind by you, so I'm going to be led blind by nothing else to go on.
Thank you.
That's silly.
there's 18, by the way, so rest assured. I think our city's pretty safe. We
There
have
are 18 paid policemen,
Yes, ma'am.
full-time paid policemen,
Patrol-
insurance and all
patrols.
that. Okay, good. I mean, I'm happy. That's,
And ma'am, I'd like to say that
Cool.
I may agree with 100% of what you said. I certainly agree with the vast majority of it. And I think we're working towards that.
Thank you.
The website needs to be updated. We want to get back to posting contracts online.
it's like a form
we-
of communication
It
between us
absolutely
that,
is. It
you know.
absolutely is. And we want to get to the point, at least I'm speaking for myself, I believe I'm speaking for everybody, where we can get as much information out as possible. Now, we do have a representative form of government, so you're not going to get all the information. I don't see all the information.
Mm-hmm.
The mayor's the executive, the mayor runs the city, the mayor's the person who all the city employees report to, with the exception of the police department, they report to the separately elected police chief.
I know, that's,
Well, that's the law, and that's the
autonomy
system
is a
we have.
problem.
But my point is, I believe everybody up here wants to be transparent,
Mm-hmm.
is working to be transparent, and Facebook, I have to agree with Councilman Wheeler, is nasty, mean, vile. There's a huge amount of
division. It's division
misinformation.
that is out
It
of control.
feeds- It feeds.
It really is.
It
You know-
feeds nastiness. So get the facts, ask the appropriate person. If you're stonewalled,
Okay.
then that's a real issue.
Okay.
But if, to go by these statements on Facebook, seriously, folks, we shouldn't.
two things.
Yes, ma'am.
What was ugly and inappropriate was the way y'all treated the administration for 4 years. Y'all came up here and did that. Now you're complaining about what's being done on Facebook, which is basically the same thing. Now I've lost my thought. But
And
the
I'm going
last
to
thing
disagree with
I
you on
do-
this, ma'am. I
yes.
don't think what's going on in Facebook has anything to do with previous council meetings. And I, for one, was not a council person. I was not even involved publicly for 4 years. So again, it's not accurate.
Yeah.
And I appreciate everything you've said tonight, but please be accurate in your statements.
Okay, the last thing I do want to say is, the man that just spoke is terribly wrong. Y'all are not doing us a favor to be here. We elected you, and we did you the favor. I'm not diminishing the role that you have, or the dedication that you have, or the love that you have for Harahan, but you owe us earning our respect and our trust in you.
I agree with you.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, I think we are elected to serve.
Right.
Period. To serve the
serve.
citizens. I don't think anybody up here has indicated anything else. Why would you go on, nobody on this council, the mayor or the police chief or the fire chief, no one has indicated anything other than the fact that we accepted the responsibility to serve the public.
And I don't think Mr. Wallace said that.
Uh,
A
But
favor,
anyway,
right? Like
but
that. I
anyway,
never heard
and
that.
I appreciate Mr. Wallace and everything he said, but you haven't heard an elected official in the city of Harahan, past, current, I don't think anybody's ever said that they weren't here to serve in their best capacity. You're 100% correct in that. But you make it, it's almost accusatory, like we think that's not the case. And that's not positive.
A lot of things have been broken down. I'm not here to be positive, I'm here to be honest.
But that's dishonest. You're implying that we don't believe we're here to serve, ma'am. And I'm going to ask you, why would you even say something like that?
Why?
Yes, ma'am.
Because we had a town hall meeting 2 weeks ago where y'all were gonna vote on us having to pay $40.
No, ma'am.
Now,
No,
that's,
ma'am.
you were going to
We
go
could
to
not
vote.
have voted at that meeting.
No, I'm not saying you voted. I'm saying you had
You're
that.
saying, you said we were going to vote at that meeting. That is not true. We could not vote at that meeting.
You have the ability to have passed that without our permission.
Oh.
And I'm asking you
Well,
to
we did
build
have
the
it.
trust in us.
We did have that ability, but
Right.
there was no vote and no one voted.
I'm not
You don't know how
debating
anybody
that.
was going to vote on that,
I'm
ma'am.
not debating that.
Okay.
You're telling me you're serving us. That didn't look like service up at Soniat. And again,
What did Mr. Johnson do that was disservice? It was not a council meeting. It was a town hall meeting. It allowed for looser rules. We could not have done that as a council meeting.
Okay. Well, the last point I do want to make is the city of Harahan, the fire department, and the police department are businesses, and we need to run it like a business. We're in the red, or am I wrong about that? The city of Harahan is already in 5 months in the red. And we're talking about promising the fire department all kinds of things.
Ms. Duffy,
That's enough.
Okay.
first of all, let me ask you, you're going to send us that list. I tried to keep track of the
I
list. You're going
will.
to send it to me?
I will
Okay.
email it.
Second of all,
if
if
it-
this city is in the red, it is not on the part of this administration at this time. If this city is in the red, it is only a part of the past administration that left us there.
You're saying that with a straight face. Thank you for listening.
That's enough.
I'm Debbie Woodsboro. I just have one quick thing to say, and I want to make sure I heard Mayor Bodier correctly, because I may be wrong, but you're all putting down Facebook and how horrible we all are for being on Facebook. Did I really hear you say the hateful eight?
Yes, you did.
Calling residents names?
No, just you wait. Let's get that very clear.
Not me
Just you
eight.
wait, not residents, you wait. That
Don't
have-
point at me.
No.
Be very
No,
careful.
I don't
Do
want you to
not
be
call me
careful.
a
You
name.
don't misspoke what I said. I said just you wait, not in residents. You wait. That have set a divide in this city that has
Are
been
they not residents?
Unbelievable.
Are they not residents?
No, I never said residents. Don't try to flip around.
No,
what I'm
I'm
trying to say.
asking you, is the
I'm-
are the eight that you're calling a name residents? Are they
Well,
residents?
one's not. I can tell you that.
But are the other seven tax-paying residents?
Neither is your wife, but she voted. Your ex.
Continue on.
I'm asking you, are the other seven residents? If you don't want us name calling, Tim, you can't name call.
I didn't name call.
Yes, you did.
I
You
didn't say
called
nobody's name.
hateful eight. That's a name. And every single
Okay.
one of you know it. And I'm sure Mr. Budd would agree with that.
Okay.
You don't call residents names.
I don't think calling anybody names is productive.
Thank you.
But I'm telling you, there's a lot of it going on. There's a lot of lies, misinformation, and rumors being spread on Facebook. It's very destructive. And I'm just going to ask the citizens to take it all with a grain of salt, because there's not a lot of truth out there, and there's not a lot of honest debate. And if you have a question, everybody up here, all the elected officials, as well as gentlemen like Fire Chief St. Cyr, are accessible. You've got our phone numbers. You've got our email addresses. I challenge one person to say they contacted me when I didn't respond to them, and I responded to you, ma'am.
Yes,
or a
you
couple
did.
of times.
And
That's our
I
job.
appreciated it.
That's
You
our job.
responded
It's-
very
It's
respectfully.
not always
I
a
can't say
pleasant
that about both
experience because
responses,
there's
but
disagreement.
He did.
But it's our job. Now, I don't know if anybody else has been contacted that hasn't responded. I can speak for myself 100% in that regard.
I can say I sent it to all the councilmen and woman, and I heard from 3 of them. I heard from you.
Did you ask a question of them, or did you make a statement?
Yes.
I can't recall if you asked
I
a
asked a
question.
question.
If you did, I'm sure you're correct.
And I did not
But-
get a response
but-
from you or
But
from
reach
Eric.
out to the
believe you
appropriate
made a
party, and
No,
if you're
I asked the
if you're
question
denied
and
an
I-
answer or contact, then you have something to complain about.
So,
Okay.
but I just don't like anybody calling names, and whether one isn't a resident, the other 7 are. We're tax-paying residents. You're our mayor, no
Well,
matter
two
who
of
it
them are
is.
fake, Pat McDaniel and Ben McDaniel, and who's the other one? And I mean, it's just been insane. Their fakes pages are being made up just to attack us. Come on.
But a lot of what was said was true on there, too.
Oh, really?
I would not have known about the $40
You
without
read it on
Facebook.
Facebook. It must be true.
Please do not speak to me with disrespect.
All right, I was speaking to the audience.
No, you were speaking to me, and I don't appreciate that at all. I don't know, Tim, who you think you are, but really,
I'm a citizen just like you. I'm a
Okay,
human
and so
being just like you.
I am
don't
not
like
being
being attacked just like you don't like
I'm
being
not.
attacked.
I'm asking you a question. I did not ask disrespectful to you.
Judy Johnson, since 1952, on Oak Street at the same address, so y'all all know where I live.
I don't, actually, but that's all right. I'm good with that.
But I believe
Ask Eric, he knows. At the last council meeting, special meeting in May, you passed an ordinance to have an auction. We had the auction on May 16th. How much money was raised from it? Do we know yet?
Ms. Judy, we have not gotten the numbers yet, but we will shortly.
Okay. Unfortunately, that ordinance was 219-14. So you already have an ordinance -14. So the one that you introduced tonight, Mr. Asbill, has to have a different number.
When we adopt it, it changes the number.
Yeah, we'll renumber it.
It's
Well,
ju-
you
it-
had a proposed number of 14
It's
already.
just a place marker.
So we just
Right.
confuse people.
Totally done with it.
Really? It only comes out the day before the meeting. I have looked on the agenda but I can come view it at City Hall, but it's supposed to be put on the website, according to Mr. Johnston's ordinance.
Correct.
So, Tuesday is 2 days before the meeting? Last month, it was 1 day before the meeting. Please, put the ordinance and all the ordinances and all the agenda. There's not one agenda that y'all have had since you started that has not been amended several times. People have to know what's coming up so they can come see what's going on. And if they look in the paper, it's not there. If you go by the Advocate, it's not there. This last agenda didn't even have the secretary's report numbers in it. I don't know why, but it wasn't there. So please, get your act together, guys.
You know, Miss Judy, when you're not being accusatory, you're very helpful, and I really, really appreciate that. You have helped us out a lot. You have corrected us when we're wrong, and I appreciate that. And I enjoy when you get up and you help us, you know, because that's what it kind of should be about. That's what it always should be about. It's not just my city, it's your city too. And I like that, and I appreciate that, and I thank you when you do come up and you try to help us and lead us in the right direction. You are a mentor in this city. You've been here for a long time. There's a lot of things that you know, like even Carlo, Vinny, Paul, there's things that they know that a lot of us, you know, we're trying to learn. But so thank you for that, and that's what I wanted to say. All right, motion to close, address the council?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Wheeler, second by Councilman
Second.
Asbill. All in favor, 5 yeas, 0 nays.
Yay.
Public hearing's now closed.
Secretary's report.
All right.
For April 2019, total revenue, $633,640. And reports.
Stats for Harahan Police Department for April 2019. We had 673 calls for service, 11 auto accidents, 131 citations issued for 156 violations, with 14 patrol requests. We had 2 narcotics arrests, number of charges, 1 felony, 1 misdemeanor. Other arrests were 43 for 59 different charges, 5 felony, 38 misdemeanor, 13 city, and 3 traffic. No murders, no rapes, no robberies, 1 residential burglary, no non-residential burglary, no motor vehicle, one motor vehicle theft, no attempted motor vehicle thefts, 3 larceny thefts, and 7 assaults. Again, school's out, watch out. Thank you.
I'm ready. No, don't worry.
The only thing I've got this evening is, as you go into this holiday weekend for Memorial Day, please remember what it is for. It is for those military who have served this country and were not able to get out of the cloth of this country. And we appreciate their service and their commitment to this country. Thank you.
Councilman Buddy?
Well, I want to repeat what Councilman Asbill just said. We've got 2 or 3 holidays that show respect for military, former, current personnel. Memorial Day is for those who didn't make it home. Excuse me. On another topic, I want to express my sincere thanks to Councilman Johnson, Jefferson Parish Councilman Johnson, for all he's done for the city of Harahan. Thank you. That's all I have. Thank you.
Guys, I want to apologize if anybody thinks I'm rude, arrogant. I'm emotional. I believe most of y'all have my phone number. I'd love for you to call me. I'll meet you here, meet you at my house, the park. I'd love to talk to people. There's a lot of people here who have different feelings and ways they want this city to go. But I think we all feel we want the city to go the way we believe is positive. If there's a question, concern that I can help y'all with, call me on my phone. I'll meet up with you and talk. I like talking face to face. Facebook? I don't have Facebook. You're not catching me on Facebook. Facebook, I get people snapshot me, snapshots of stuff from Facebook. I have my wife get all upset, over Facebook. I tell my wife, get off Facebook. We don't need to look at Facebook. Facebook doesn't run this city. If y'all want to talk to me, call me on my phone. The mayor's made a statement earlier about somebody made a comment on Facebook, kill the flock. Kill the flock. So you should make a comment, and I don't know what it is. I didn't see the whole thread. But for someone to take a snapshot of this and send it to me, they have me concerned. I don't know what it meant. I don't know if anybody here knows what it meant. But they need to be very careful the way they post things when they take snapshots and send them to people. So I'm going to sit here and say it one more time, and as y'all understand, the way government works is somebody brings up an ordinance. They read it here. It's a first reading. We can't tell someone who to bring up an ordinance. All that does is gets people to talk about it. And they say not transparent. I believe when they brought that ordinance up about this rate on the water bill, at the same meeting they said, we're going to have a town hall meeting. At the same meeting, the ordinance was brought up. So for someone to get up here and say, the only reason they had a town hall meeting is because we complained, I don't know if that's too true. Anytime you have a major issue, I believe you should have a town hall meeting. And we don't need a town hall meeting. I don't have Facebook. I don't have Facebook. All right. When someone comes to this meeting and talks, I mean, I listen. I'm prepared to listen. I'm prepared to talk to someone. When you get up here to address the council, I'm not answering your questions. You want to stick around to the end of the meeting and talk to me? I'll answer your questions. All that answering question does right here is get people in arguments. I'm not sitting here arguing with anyone. So if you want to get up here and address us, feel free to do it. We're all listening. I'm not answering your question. It's not a question and answer. You could call me when this meeting's over. You could call me tomorrow morning, and I'll answer your questions to the best of my ability. If I don't have an answer for you, I'm going to tell you, guys, I'm going to work on getting that answer for you. There have a lot of people in this audience that agree with me and disagree with me, and I've spoke to a lot of them. And I believe they believe that I'm speaking from my heart, you know. And when Mr. Wallace got up here and said, you know, these guys take time out of their life, I appreciate y'all coming here taking time out of your life, you know. And I'll tell you, my wife's exact words are, when she wants something done at the house, she says, if Terry Valenti called you, go to her house. If Kerry Wheeler called you, go to her house, you know. And that's the thing we deal with, you know, and it's jokefully, you know, and we get all joke, but if you call me, I'm going to do my best to come see you, talk to you, and see if we can answer your questions. Everybody up here is for the right reason. Like I stated earlier, 2 people reached out to me after that town hall meeting. And I believe we're trying to move forward in a positive way. City engineer is going to evaluate it. Why do we need all of us citizens to go evaluate it? Y'all more than welcome to go look at it. But let's get a city engineer to get together, put us a list together, and we'll see where we need to move. What money we need to allocate for what. You know, a budget, we can amend the budget every month. You know, and when we get close to the end of the year, we will. So I look forward to moving the city forward. If there's anything I can help y'all with, feel free to call me. And I hope we all can stay positive. Thank you.
All right. Now I just have just a few things. A couple things were brought up tonight I just wanted to address. The censorship thing where Ms. Magine got up and saying that we're trying to censor. While I wasn't in favor of getting rid of the first address to council, I thought we should have kept it. But after every resolution, after every ordinance, at the end of the meeting, you have every time to get up and address the council. For everything that comes up here before we vote on it, you have a chance to come speak your mind. So it is not, to me, it's not censorship. You do still have your mind, speak your mind, let's put it that. Secondly, Ms. Davis, you got up, talked about the stuff wasn't going online. About 4 years ago when I first took office, I came through with some ordinances that is required to put it online. They do have some stipulations in it, and that's the problem we're at right now. They're revamping the internet, the website, and I'm sure once everything gets back up to running, they will start posting all these things, and I'll make sure that they do. Yes, ma'am. Very last thing, just as other people said, have a happy and safe Memorial Day. Remember everybody that gave everything for our freedom. That's it.
Mine will be short. This is what happens when you're the last person. I just want you to have a safe and happy Memorial Day. Ms. Davis, I was no way, I just don't want you to come across that I was attacking, but I'm sure we can all agree, and everybody that's sitting here, I've seen their names and faces on Facebook, okay? It's really sad, and this is just my opinion, and everybody's entitled to theirs. I mean, some of these cynical and just outright evil, there are some harsh things that people are posting on Facebook. And look, I'm Eric. I don't even look at it, but my phone will go off. And by the way, the Kill the Flock, I have it right here if anybody wants to see it. It was about a thread talking about the mayor and the council. And it said to kill the flock with one stone. Now, I get it. It's kind of like kill 2 birds with 1 stone. So I think the interpretation could be endless, okay? Oh, I just got the actual thing itself. I didn't get the full, I didn't get the full, like, friends, residents. There's so many in Harahan, I'm a loss. Every time there's a new, and then you got this person blocking this person, and you got, I mean, it's. Well, ma'am.
Absolutely wrong.
Okay, well, all right. Ma'am.
This isn't an argument. This is.
And see, this is exactly what Councilman Chatelain brought up. We're just, okay. Let's not argue. I'm just saying,
I'll talk to you after the meeting.
Yeah,
you're not allowed
I'll
to
talk
say
to you
that.
after the meeting. Yeah.
Okay. again, have a safe and happy Memorial Day, everybody. Thank you. But let's bring unity back and stop the division. It has to stop. It has to stop. Because we're taking a step forward, we got 10 steps back. We're not going to go to, what's that, ma'am?
I agree.
Oh, my God. Okay.
It's tick for tat.
Okay.
Who is she?
That's, no, that's Bonnie Aber.
Call me. I'll see you outside. I'll see you outside.
Thank you. That's Bonnie Aber.
Oh.
Okay, you
She's
done?
the one with the cute-
Are you done, Councilman Wheeler?
Yes, I'm done. Thank you. You have a good evening. Thank you for
Thank
coming
you.
out. I'm sorry.
Just real fast, one of Harahan's first ladies, Miss Lynn, who y'all is the sweetest thing you've ever met. That's Mr. Paul Johnson's wife. She lost her mother a couple days ago.
Today.
And today. And y'all, that family has been so good to this city. You know, I would like to take a couple seconds just to, to pray for Miss Lynn, pray for Councilman Johnson, pray for her family, and remember how fragile life is. Just today, a gentleman on my street passed away, 52 years old. That's only 2 years older than me. I don't have all the specifics on it yet and probably won't post it online. But we're gonna, let's just bow our head and let's pray for our veterans that didn't make it home. Let's pray for Miss Lynn and her mom and Councilman Johnston, and let's pray for the neighbors that are lost. Thank you. Now, for myself, I think the biggest accolade I bring to this city is my ability to work well with others and my relationships. I have portrayed it through my council. We all work together with everything we got here. We understand what it's going to take to move us forward, and that's unity with us first. So you won't see us hardly ever become divided, if ever. Tonight was another 5-0 vote. We all agreed on everything in the direction that this city would go. In saying that, we have one of the greatest assets that this city has ever had in Councilman Johnston. Y'all, since I've been in office, this man has given me $300,000 for a fire truck, $250,000 for streets, and another $75,000 for equipment to put on that fire truck. I've also gotten another $350,000 grant from Public Service Commissioner Scrimetta that me and this council work with to go in and redo lighting in this city to change it from the lights now to LED that will continue to save the city money. That's $925,000 in money that me and this council have brought to this city, and we've only been doing it for 5 months. That's what we have done. Yeah, we're working hard with this fire department, and I can tell you every one of us has been committed since day one. And the way that things went down, we took it on the chin like champions, and we're back again looking for another solution. We got knocked down, but we're not going to stay down. This council and I don't know any different. We will continue to forge ahead. No matter how bad you beat us up, we're going to get back up and we're going to do it again. But at some point, you got to draw the line and you say enough. Now with this Facebook stuff, that's where I've drawn the line, and I have said enough. I've tried to respond. I've tried to talk to people. You cannot. It is an instant, vile attack. My children read this stuff, and I'm no longer going to be a part of it. But I don't want to end on a bad note, so I'd like to come back just to thank Councilman Johnson one more time, to let you guys know we are moving. We are working hard. We have 2 massive sinkholes, one on Wilson and one in another gentleman's backyard. I'm working with the parish on that one. I actually walked the Larcella ditch. They couldn't believe a mayor climbed down a ladder and walked the ditch, but I'm one of them mayors that's going to get in there and we're going to touch it. I walked the ditch. We found the problem. We're in the process of fixing it now. We're working feverishly with the manhole on Wilson. It's a legal issue because we're trying to get the company to come back and warranty the work. We have to give them so many days to do that before we touch it, because once we touch it, it becomes our liability and lets them off the hook, and I don't want to let them off the hook. And then we have lift station number 5. You want to report lift station number 5, which is in Imperial Woods, and the entire neighborhood behind Imperial Woods. Harahan Oaks behind is basically being held in the air by the pipe. There's literally no ground underneath it. And when this goes, entire Harahan Oaks and every neighborhood that sits behind it to the south side of the city will no longer flush their toilets. That's a $391,000 fix that we're searching for funding for right now. Despite what people may believe, and I'm not going to sit here and try to bash anybody, we were left in pretty rough shape. And we're trying to figure it out. We are. And we're working hard, and sometimes working hard at trying to figure those numbers out puts our attention maybe where it shouldn't be. And Fire Chief, for that, I'm extremely sorry for that. But I am in a leadership role now. This council and I are 100% behind you. We will fix this. We will not stop until it is done, and you have our word. Thank you. Happy Memorial Day. Good night.
Motion to pay the bills.
Madam Clerk, pay the bills.
Total expenditures for April, $727,711.41.
Motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Asbill, second by Councilman Wheeler. All in favor?
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays.